Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing a job that we have put off for a while on the Wheelhorse Raider 9. The problem that we're going to be dealing with in this video is the play in the ends of the front axle. We did actually mention this in the previous video, where there's quite a lot of wear in here, which means the stub axle moves up and down when it shouldn't do. You may have noticed this isn't actually the front axle from this tractor, this is a spare one that we found, and we were actually quite happy when we found this in our spares. Because we looked at the side, tried to move that, and that is rock solid. So we thought, yay, we might be able to switch them over because there's no play. But we cleaned up this side, got all of the rock solid grease out of it, and you can see there's actually quite a lot of play in there. So the other side is just not moving because we haven't cleaned out all of the rock solid grease on it. So it was back to plan A of sorting out the original axle. Thank you for all the suggestions that we got in the comment section of the previous video on this tractor about what we should do on this problem, and also thank you to everyone that comments on any of our videos. It is much appreciated. We have now decided what we're going to do to solve this problem, and rightly or wrongly we've decided that we are going to enlarge the hole here that the stub axle goes into, and then press in two of these bronze bushings. One at the top and one at the bottom on both sides. And how we're going to do this is we are going to use an end mill cutter to mill through. Originally we thought of using a drill, but the risk of using a drill would be that it could go off the straight line going straight down because of how the hole in there has worn and become oval, and the end mill cutter, 7/8 end mill cutter that we had, would only be able to do one bush at a time, and we would want to mill all the way through in one and then be able to do both bushings. So we went and bought this brand new 7/8 mill cutter. Now, there was another challenge to this once we've actually decided what we were going to do, which was mounting the front axle in the mill so that the hole in the stub in the axle was at 90 degrees and pointing directly upwards, because this is at an angle. So let's go over to the mill and we'll show you what we've done. Over at the Cincinnati mill now, and you can see the original axle we have mounted in here, which we've had to do quite a few things to mount this so that this is pointing directly upwards, so we get a straight cut where the hole is meant to be. Also, we've made this so it's reversible, so that once we've milled out one end, we can do the same to the other one, hopefully without having to completely reset our mounting system here. However, we can't really put this off much longer. We're going to set the mill to a slower speed, and then we'll get the mill cutter in there, and then it'll be time to mill out the stub axle hole. We have the mill cutter set up in there now. I'm just going to put a bit of our cutting oil on here, just for when it starts. And then we've got this spray multi-purpose cutting oil that we'll be spraying on there as we mill it. But no putting it off any longer, let's go. that side of the axle, you may be a bit surprised to see we have the drill chuck and 7/8 drill in there, rather than our end mill, which after the clip you just saw, we lowered the table, so turned off the mill, and measured the hole it was drilling, and it was actually more than 7/8. You can kind of see that if I put our bush next to it, which when we want a 7/8 interference fit to put this bush, to be able to press this bush in there and have it not move, that wasn't too helpful. What we really need is a boring tool for the mill. So if anyone knows where we could get an inch 40, which is the adapter part there, boring tool for our Cincinnati mill that is of good quality, then please do let us know in the comment section down below. That would be very helpful. But now to switch it round so that we can do the other end. We've switched the axle round now, and we're ready to go again. So I'll just do the same thing I did on the previous one. Put some of our cutting oil on there, and then I've got the spray for when we get going. So let's go. We've just measured and we're happy with how that's cutting. So we've put some more oil on, and now time to go all the way through. We're nearly all the way through now. Should be about to come out the bottom. That is the second end done. We're back inside now, and we have two bits of post to open today. One, we can see who it's from on the front of the letter, and the other one, we have our suspicions about who it might be, but we're not fully sure at this point. So we'll open up the one who we know who it's from first. Now this is from the Harnishs, and their channel is Country Living with the Harnishs. They're in Canada, and they have a Kubota tractor, which they do a lot of stuff on their land with that, in their garden, and they also do logging stuff, so their channel is definitely worth checking out. And they've written us a note here, which I'll read in a second, but let's have a look at the sticker. Just been reading the letter, and they've said some very nice things about our videos, and thanking us for supporting their channel, which their channel is definitely worth a watch. And this is from the Harnishs, Jennifer, Arliss and Dawson, so thank you very much. And make sure to check out their channel, Country Living with the Harnishs. And we'll go on to the second bit of mail. The second piece of post we have is quite a big envelope here, and it says "Do not bend on one side," which the UK Post Office has done a pretty good job of following that. Now, as I said before, I have a sneaking suspicion of who this is from. However, I can't be sure yet until we have a look to see who it is from. Looks like we've got a letter in here. Put that down there. I shall read the letter in a second. If we look at the sticker, this is from Tractor Talk with Gary. We've just had a read through Gary's letter, and he's been very supportive of our channel, and he's a great supporter of our channel, so thank you very much for that, Gary. And we very much enjoy watching his videos as well, and you should go check him out. And you've definitely won the prize for the biggest sticker we've received, Gary, which this is his John Deere. So be sure to check out Tractor Talk with Gary and Country Living with the Harnishs. We've now cleaned up the axle of any cutting oil, and we've set up the press here. Dad is holding the axle so that the hole is pointing up straight, and if I just roughly locate that quickly, we can start to press it in. We then pressed in the 3 other bushings, and they were quite tight when we fitted the stub axles. So we put this expanding reamer through them just to make to open them up a tiny bit, not too much though. And we're quite happy with how that turns, and there's no play in this side or the other side likewise. Now we have the axle sitting on this small jack here, just so that it's easier, so no one has to hold it when we're trying to line up with the holes on the chassis there that you put the pin through. We've got the axle lined up height-wise, and I will now just turn the steering, which moves this bracket out of the way so that the pin can go in straight. We have oiled the pin to help it go in and you can see it's just stopped there. Just because this side isn't quite lined up, and there we go. That is not now lined up, and you can see there's that tab on the back of the pin, which we will need to put the bolt through and put the clip on this side. The axle is now fully fixed onto the chassis, and it's now time to put back on the grease nipples, or grease zerks. We've now greased up the 3 grease points, which are on the 2 stub axle holes, and then there's one underneath here, which if we just judge our progress for today, you can see there's no play in there, and I mean you can just see there's no play in there, and it's the same story in the other side, which is very good, and a big improvement to how it was before, so that's a good job done, even though it did take quite a while to set up things on the mill, and also to use the extending reamer to make sure these fitted well. But I think the end result was worth it. Now in the next video we'll continue the reassembly, or on the next video where we are working on this tractor, we will continue the reassembly, and hopefully there's a few bits which should be quite quick just to put back on, so we should be able to get even more progress done. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.